7 sinkers.
Take it away.
Corned beef and garbage.
All ready.
Fry 2, slap 'em in the eye.
Right here.
Boin 1.
Here it is.
And you got pig's feet?
Don't get personal.
1 vegetable garden.
Okay.
Plates up.
Oh, dishes. I'd like to wash my hands of the whole business. Oh, me, day in and day out. Work.
A glass.
Right away. Looks like dish night around here. You have to use your head to get around here. Oh, if I ever get out of here again, I'll never wash.
Fry 2, 1 on one side and 1 on the other, and make it snappy, will you?
Right away. I've only got 2 hands. Oh, I can dish it out, but I can't take
Beef
this.
stew.
Beef stew.
And I do mean stew.
Oh, all I do is work from morning to night. What do
A Boston cream pie and stuff on it.
Right away. Oh, gee. Did I ever take this job for anyway?
A telegram for Miss Boop.
Just a moment. Where are you?
Here I am down here.
Oh,
Here's a telegram for you.
thank you. Yippee! Off with the old job, on with the new. That's what I'm gonna do. And now I'm through feeling blue. Boop, boop, ba-doop. I'll get my salary, all that is due, and I'll say toodaloo. It's off with the old job, and on with the new. Oh, this must be the one. Oh, isn't this fun watching baby? Here now. Isn't that nice? Oh, you naughty boy, you mustn't do that. Here. See, now you just brush your teeth. Sure. Once a year, see your dentist twice a day. Isn't it nice? See, there, your tooth is all nice and clean now. Who's next? Oh, a little baby walrus. Nighty-night. Good night, Betty. Oh, the little angel. Hi-ho, stupid!
No.
up, cyberspace cadets, cyber fam bots galore? That's right. It's IRATE Prostate. It's Sunday. You know what that means? It's time for ice cream. You know, I call it ice cream because most people consider ice cream to be a treat. And to me, a treat is talking to someone I am interested in, as in today's case. Before we get to that, though, I do want to thank everybody that came out and participated for last week's show. That was a blast. It went like 2 hours and 40 something minutes, and every bit of it was fun. And I want to thank everybody for just being a part of that. If you were, and if you were in the chat, thanks for being who you are. Because I got the best chat on the planet. I don't care what anybody says. I'll fight them. I'll go to. Well, anyway. I won't say where I'll go because I'll go to any length. Just put it that way. That's what we'll say. Anyway, so I met today's guest. A couple. It was about maybe 2 months ago, and it was Virgie was involved. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was fun. My gut said, I want to know more about this lady, and that's usually, when my gut says that things like that, gives me that intuitive kind of jerk. I have to go with it because it's never been wrong. And in the Blade Runner game, they call that the magic. So it all ties together, man, somehow. Anyway, today's guest is none other than the original Asherella. Except no substitutes, except no fakes, the one and only original, the OGOA. Digging it. How you doing? It's Sunday. You're saying happy Sunday? Yeah, we got. No, we got Circle K's and shit down here. Right. Oh shit. Hold on a second. Uzi is saying something. Oh fuck! I boomered it, didn't I? I fucking boomered it. Asherella, nobody heard a lick of shit you just said. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed again. God damn it. Anyway, I got to.
Okay.
All right.
You want me to?
Yeah, let's go for it. Say it again.
Okay. Well, it's funny that I was saying it was 7-Eleven day, and if you have a 7-Eleven near you, it's Free Slurpee Day. But you said you had Circle K's, right. And I said I was recently talking about how I knew a guy who thought the Chemical Brothers song "Down in the K-Hole" was about hanging out at a Circle K.
I think I was in an old manhole for a second there. So sorry, y'all, man. Sorry, Asherella. I totally apologize for that shit.
It's okay. It's okay.
You will not be muted anymore.
Oh, right? I've got messages saying we can't hear you.
No, man. It's like, God damn it.
No
anyway,
worries.
yeah, it's like all right. So yeah, I'll put a skip to this part to where you can hear you. So the, people that come back and check it out, check out the recording.
No worries. I talk too much anyway, so you might want to mute me out a little bit anyway.
No. It was, man, I do that. So it's like, sometimes there's echo, when there's other stuff playing in the background. So I have to, I don't know. OBS is still a mystery and it's changing all the time,
right?
As they say. So, all right, we'll go ahead and go into the dog and cat room. It's a little more mellow. And we got the dulcet tones of the one and only Philip Daniel playing in the background in the parlor. Maybe it's our house is we're in a big mansion. Maybe something out of, I don't know, an old Vincent Price movie.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with that.
Yeah. So all right. So what I do is I've got some questions here, and the deal always starts off with YouTube. I will start topically. We'll start with YouTube, and then get into your personal background a little bit, and then we'll go into the aesthetics and things like that. And then when we're like all the way through, we'll be back at YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap with like a shill and everything, like a proper host would do.
Okay. I didn't bring any clips. Sorry.
No, that's fine. It was really weird because I was thinking about it. Usually people don't do cam, and I was thinking, oh shit, I can facilitate a cam on this with this deal, right?
Right.
I forgot that because that's an option now, and I don't want people to know that if they prefer cams in the future, then
Yeah, I would have done a cam. Like some people, like I'm not self-conscious about that kind of thing at all. So like I would have definitely done it, but some people maybe not.
Oh, I don't know.
Some people like to stay anonymous that way.
Some people think I was my face was set on fire and was put out with a rake.
I doubt that.
I try to stay away from the camera. Anyway, all right. So we'll start out with talking about YouTube.
Sure.
How long have you been around YouTube, and what was the main reason you decided to create content? What's your history there?
Well, I mean, I think I've just been like watching YouTube videos and that kind of thing for, I don't know, like as long as anybody has. It's almost like YouTube is avoidable if you want to watch or music videos and that kind of thing. That's probably why I initially like regularly went to YouTube, but I've had my channel for a couple of years, and I don't know, like whenever I first I have a lot of like thoughts and opinions, and I always say like the things I love, and I like expressing that, but I've always been very kind of creative, and like I've always loved to perform, and like as you get more into like your adult life and full-fledged regular everyday life, you have less and less like outlets and opportunities to perform. And like I always say like the world is my runway, but I didn't, I have no outlet for that. And whenever I originally created my channel, it was just kind of an opportunity for me to it was like a creative outlet,
Mm-hmm.
It was like a place to express my opinions. It was like it fulfilled that desire in me to like put things out into the world. It was my stage, my channel is like my stage, I guess.
Yeah. So what made you decide to do? I mean, what was there anything in specific? You just
No, I mean, I was trying to think back to like my original videos, and they were real kind of like vloggy, just like whatever was on my mind. I I'd redecorate like my room or my house, and then I'd show that off. And then I kind of got into more, like structured videos and just like specific themes and topics. And then I ended up with my set, and like it just kind of evolved. But yeah, I guess it really just kind of started out as a vlog, and it just went from there.
So have you got like a bunch of stuff that sunsetted? Because I was on your channel, and there's like maybe 7 or 8 videos available now.
Oh no, man, I've got so many, like few hundred.
Okay,
it should be available. Yeah.
All right, well, I don't know, maybe I was looking at it wrong.
I have several. I mean, I haven't always, but I try to at least put up 1 new video a week. Sometimes I put up 2. And I mean, I haven't always been that consistent, but yeah, I've got a few hundred up, I think.
Nifty. All right. So, from what I can see, your channel, your uploads are real eclectic. Yeah. And so, talk about that a little bit.
Well, I always say that my channel, there's no theme, it's not like a travel channel or like a Reddit channel or anything like that, but I do so many different video topics. I do like reaction videos and, just like whatever. And the theme of my channel are the things that are like consuming my heart and my mind in the moment, like good, bad, and in the middle. Like if something's on my mind, or if it's something I'm really into in the moment, or something that I just want to share with the world, like that's what my video is about. Like I don't, try to stay in any, and I'll probably have a little bit more success if I did narrow it down. And there have been times where I've definitely like tried to focus it and, maybe be like, okay, let's just do this type of video, but that's just not who I am, and like I wouldn't be satisfied if I only did one specific type of video, because that is not everything that is consuming my heart and my mind.
I feel you. And, and that's like, I have a similar approach to the content on my channel too.
Yeah.
But what I really like about, and what I locked into it was actual, I can tell that you're into what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that makes it kind of even more exciting, right? Because you bring an energy to it already.
Right.
And I kind of dig that. It's like and that's kind of one of the aims I have about like doing this show and a couple others that I do. It's like I like to share a love. That's good, man. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, but this is not about me, because it's about you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right. So usually when I start with the personal developmental phase of the questioning, I always ask this one question: is there a food from your childhood that you hated as a kid, but now in adulthood you actually like it?
Yeah, there's actually several. Like I'm actually a vegetarian. Like I love meat. I love eating meat. Like I miss it almost every single day. But I'm a vegetarian. I'm a regular like lacto-ovo vegetarian. I'm not vegan, and I don't preach my vegetarianism. I feel like I end up talking about it a lot because I'm often the only one around in like the people that I'm talking to. But there were so many like vegetables and stuff like that I didn't like when I was a kid, but now that's like the basis of my diet. Like I love peppers so much, like any kind of peppers, like hot peppers, sweet peppers, like whatever. And like I didn't like them as a kid, and then like as I've gotten older, my palate has just changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a good thing that I do, because I am a vegetarian, but I'm not like, I can talk about that a little bit. And I always say, like, I'm not a vegetarian for any kind of like super noble or like ethical reason. Like, yes, I don't think that we should mistreat animals, and they should be like harvested ethically and humanely. But I'm really just a vegetarian because it's the easiest way for me to like keep the body that I want.
I hear you. Yeah, and it's
not noble, it's not any kind of like, oh, I'm making like a social statement with my vegetarianism. No, I'm conceited.
I had a friend back in college days, and she said that she was a vegetarian because meat was gross. And
also,
that was pretty much the most honest answer I've ever heard. Right?
Yeah. And like whenever, I love coconut so much. Coconut is like my favorite thing, probably like my favorite flavor. But when I was a kid, I didn't really like coconut that much. And I don't know, just one day, like I loved it. And like coconut chocolate is like my thing. I love it. And like, I really do try to push coconut onto people. Like you can dislike all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. You do you. But if you don't like coconut, I'm converting you to coconut.
No doubt. Do you ever use like, like do any Thai curry recipes? A lot of a lot of Thai recipes ask for coconut milk,
Yeah. Yeah. And I try to be like pretty, have a good variety in my cooking. And I really do like to cook. And, I don't know. I just like cook. Like I don't really, it's rare if I follow a recipe, but like if I get something in my mind I want to eat, I just like make it. Like I just figure it out. Like, I don't know. It's just, it kind of comes natural to me, cooking.
Good. That's awesome. All right. So, kind of gearing into the, to your childhood and shit, with using one word, how would you describe your family?
Oh, I'm sorry. How would I describe them? How?
Just how would you describe your family with one word?
Unconditional.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who would you say the most influential person from your childhood was?
My mother. and she still is. Like, and if you would have asked me, like, in my childhood and in my teens, I would not have said that. But yeah, my mom, she is amazing. She's saintly. Like, I love her so much. She did, and still continues to do, like, everything she possibly can for me and my sister. We weren't like spoiled or anything like that, but I couldn't have a better mom. She is a genuinely like amazing person. She's smart and she's funny and she's very different from me. Like, I describe her as like Stepford, like the Stepford wives, because she's like cute and blonde and like, got her like pearls and like cardigan and like, but she's like genuinely like a kind person. She's one of those people that will like go without so someone else doesn't have to. She was a great role model and a great example. And I love Rhonda. That's her name. I love her so much.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. And what kind of kid describe you as a kid? What kind of kid?
Oh, me, like I am now, exactly. No, I've always been very like extroverted, very hyper, very talkative. I would, just me smaller. But I was, always, I wanted to do like everything when I was a kid. Like, I was involved in like every activity, every club, like every sport, like anything that I could do, I did it. I was definitely like a joiner and like a go-getter and like, yeah, like just, I don't know. I just liked experiencing as much as possible when I was young, and I'm still kind of that way. And it's like, I wasn't great at softball and I didn't do it all the time, but I certainly was going to try it. And that's kind of how I was as a kid. And that has a lot to do with my mom too, because she really, supported whatever I was interested in, despite how different it was from whatever else I was interested in. She never tried to like mold me into any type of person or child. I was in band, but I was also a cheerleader, and like, she didn't try to make me like sporty or, like a book like nerdy kid, or like she just let me be me. And that's so much to do with who I am today. And it all started with just my mom not trying to like guide me in my personality. I mean, yeah, with like values and things like that, but she just let me be me and didn't try to like suppress any aspects of my personality, if that makes sense. Right.
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have an older sister, and she's 7 years older than me, and I love her so much. Like, I love her just as much as my mom. We have all been very close. My parents divorced when I was like really small, and I had a really good relationship with my dad. But it was me, my mom, and my sister, and those were my unconditional, and They still are. But Jessica, she is 7 years older than me, and she was old enough, like whenever I was born, that she really kind of took a little bit of responsibility for me too. Like, when she was little, she would say I was her baby. And, she would babysit me after school before my mom got home from work. Yeah. And so we've always been really close. And I attribute a lot of who I am today to my sister also, because she was so much older than me. I watched a lot of things and I listened to a lot of music and was exposed to a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't have been, because the older sister, like, hey, let's watch this movie that mom would never let you watch. My favorite movie ever is The Lost Boys. And that's because, my favorite movie ever is The Lost Boys. And I watched it for the first time when I was super young, maybe like 8 years old, with my older sister. And it's my favorite movie to this day. Yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool film. And we'll come back to like horror films in a little bit. So
okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. So do you have a favorite holiday or a time of year that holds special meaning for you?
Well, I love Halloween. I love, obviously I love some like magic and blood and spooky. And, I say that I am like a sparkly goth. Like, I have a black sparkly heart, and I love Halloween. I love spooky stuff. I like the warm weather, but I love fall because that is when I can really utilize my wardrobe to its fullest extent. Like I can wear just about like everything I have at some point in time during the fall, and I love clothes. So yeah, I love fall. I love Halloween. I love the spooky and like the magic in the air during that time of year. It's just, it's so yummy. It's just like, oh, it's like, it's the best way I can describe it.
Sweet. Cool. All right. So what were you like in elementary and in middle school? What?
Very well, like I said, very hyper, very chatty, like, wanted to be in everything and involved with everything. I think when you get to middle school, that's really kind of when you really kind of start like filling out your personality or like who you are and who you're evolving to be as a person. And I've actually made a video about this, but whenever I was like in elementary school, like second grade, I got my first pair of glasses, and I hated wearing glasses. I cried and I threw a fit, and like it was like I didn't, not really like a fit, but like it was a big deal. I did not want to get glasses. And I had to get glasses, and then I was like redheaded, strawberry blonde, like freckle faced kid with glasses. And I was cute, adorable, you know what I mean? But like when you're that age and you're like that, you're like, oh, I wish I didn't have glasses. And then when I was in 7th grade, my mom let me get contacts, and my life changed at that point. Like, I'm not kidding. And I know it sounds, and I say this in the video I did talking about it, but like, it's like cliche 80s movie. Like I got contacts and like my life changed. Like people interacted with me differently. It was just that moment where you go from being like awkward little kid to like look like pretty, and yeah, so that's just like a huge like moment of my life, I guess. But I really like middle school was really when I really started developing my like taste in music, and I love like alternative music, like 90s alternative. Like middle school was the age, maybe like 11 or 12 is when I found the Smashing Pumpkins, and oh my god, I love the Smashing Pumpkins so much. That really kind of shaped the person that I am today, just like my taste in music. I've always been into music and played instruments since I was like elementary school aged, but when I was 13, I got a bass, an electric bass for Christmas because I wanted to be like Darcy in the Smashing Pumpkins. And I started taking bass lessons, and that's when I started playing string instruments. And so that was really cool. And like, that's why I can play stuff today. Yeah. Sorry, like I said earlier, I go off onto tangents.
No, it's cool. I like this because like we'll kind of touch back on like music too. So it's fine, man. You're doing great. If you could go back in time and talk to yourself at the age of 8, what would you tell little Asherella?
Oh my gosh. Your mom knows what she's talking about. Like I've made a few mistakes in my life, and definitely a few bad decisions here and there. And, I always say that, my mistakes and my problems in life are not my mother's fault. People try to like blame their parents for a lot of like issues in their life. And I mean, sometimes they're definitely responsible, but like, I've made the mistakes that I made like in spite of my mother, or like, I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, I would definitely tell, save your money, and like your mom knows what she's talking about, and take better care of your first couple cars.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what was the craziest thing you did as a kid?
Oh my gosh. Craziest thing. I don't know.
We're not counting high school. So I've got the high school questions.
Okay. As a kid.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I can't think. I don't know. I mean, I always did like wild, like, I don't know. I was always like very unique, and like I would like I don't know, pop out of like my mom's bathroom and like been in her makeup and like look like a little like kitty clown, like playing in my mom's makeup. And that's not really like wild or whatever, but that was just like I was always like doing something that would raise an eyebrow to most people, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I can't really think of anything just like straight up wild that I did. As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that and that and that.
Yeah, of course. You know that's the way it always goes.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. So talk about the first time you played doctor, or that you realized boys were something you were interested in. I'll put it that way. If you're not gay, so
yeah,
I always assume that people are cishet.
Okay, well, I've actually, I've thought about this before because, like, I think boys have like a moment, you know what I mean? But girls, I think it's like a gradual thing. But I definitely remember, because I have an older sister, and I used to watch MTV when I was like way too young. And I remember watching, it was like either a performance or like the video for like Billy Idol, Cradle of Love. And it was an older video at that time, but for whatever reason it was on, maybe it was like VH1 or something. And just thinking, oh wow, this feeling is new. Like, like it was like very like, it's very kind of like sexy, and like just thinking there was like something that I liked about him that was like a different feeling, you know what I mean? And I was probably like, I don't know, maybe like 9 or 10, I guess. Ooh. And even when I was like, but I mean, it wasn't like that. I mean, it was very like innocently like attractive, but as I got older, I realized that was sort of stimulating that that kind of thing. Right. And I don't know, I always had like crushes and things like that on like boys in my class and that kind of stuff. So I don't know if there was like an exact moment, but it was just like a gradual like, oh hey,
Right. So what about the first time you quote played doctor?
Oh, so really? Oh my god, like I wish I could have done it differently. Well, okay. I don't know, do you just want like okay, can you clarify the question a little bit? Like first full-on experience, or first like just like physical contact with a boy?
I would say the former, not the latter.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I wish I could have done it over. And I tell like teenagers that I know that like don't grow up too fast because like you have plenty of time. But it was a high school boyfriend that I hadn't been dating very long, and I just did it to get it over with. Like, I don't know. It's not a good story. It's not a very like romantic story. And I wish I could have like waited. Not waited necessarily, but I wish it could have been like a better experience.
I hear you. Yeah, it's usually kind of awkward and weird. I don't know.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, and I mean, and obviously I liked this guy because he was my boyfriend at the time, but like I really just did it to get it over with. Like, to have done it,
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't have any like residual like damage or anything from that. Like, I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. Like, I don't like no major regrets, but just looking back, like I would have done things differently. Yeah.
All right. So, all right. What about the first time you got shit faced? What would describe that?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, totally shit faced. High school. Different high school boyfriend and I had gotten into a fight. I had a friend in high school whose parents, I grew up in Virginia. His parents moved to California like halfway through his senior year and just left him with the house in Virginia. So we had a free party house every weekend. And I had gotten into a fight with high school boyfriend and I was like, fuck that, like I am going and I'm getting shithoused. And I drank maybe like probably, and I mean, I've always been a small person, so probably about a third of a bottle of Absolute in probably the span of about 30 minutes. And that was the like people, my friend, thank God I had good friends at the time that took care of me. Like they took my car and like took it up the neighborhood and like parked it at a friend's house. Because evidently I was looking for my keys, you know, and like I don't remember much of it, but I do remember the next day, and I do remember the stories that like I was told. And yeah, it was I have one memory from that night, and I was trying to walk up the stairs, and my friend was behind me, and I just remember falling backwards and them catching me and just carrying me back up the stairs. And that's all I remember from cracking that bottle of Absolute till like, you know, the next day. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like shit. And then you got to hide your hangover from your mom, because as much as I love my mom and as much as her love for me is unconditional, I like, you know, I was way past like 21 when I first drank a beer in front of her. She's very much like out of sight, out of mind, because she doesn't drink.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I relate. All right. So, let's see. All right. We'll ask the high school question first. So
Okay.
what was high school like?
It was pretty good. I had a pretty good high school experience. I was a cheerleader, so that definitely like had its benefits. You know, I mean, like I know high school is hard for a lot of people. It wasn't, and like not every aspect of it was easy, because you're just like going through these phases of like growing up. But you know, I had a good supportive family and I had good friends, and you know, but I was like still in a lot of stuff. Like I was in band, and I was in like marching band, and I was in like theater, and I was a cheerleader, and I did like literary magazine and that kind of stuff. So I had a lot of friends. I had a pretty good time. You know, it was weird because like I wasn't part of any like specific like clique or group of people, because like my interests were so diverse. But it's like my group of friends were like kind of like a mixed match of like, you know, we had like the jockey guy and like the preppy girls, and then like the band nerds, you know, like we had like our whole group was kind of just like mismatched people from like all the others, you know. And it was a good time. I wouldn't want to do it again. You know, like it was fine. I think it's sad when people feel like, oh, high school was like the greatest time of my life or like whatever. It's like, I feel bad for them, because like I've had so much more life experience afterwards and just had so much, like so many other, you know, things to be happy and excited about. That was just not, you know, like, I mean, it was a fine time. It was good. You know, I don't have any like, you know, damage. I'm not in therapy because of anything that happened in high school or anything like that. But you know, it wasn't the best time of my life. Definitely not, you know.
So what about your reunion? Are you planning on going to any reunion?
Oh, hell no. Like if I wanted to talk to like anybody that I went to high school with, like there's a couple of people that I casually like keep in contact with like online, and those are the only people I care to talk to. Like I don't know, I lost touch with most of my friends from high school, the ones that are you know, that are still like relevant in my life, important, you know, like I do have contact with them periodically, but yeah, nah, I don't care about that.
I feel you.
Like, I mean, I don't give a shit what those people are doing for the most part.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You. All right, so we're gonna all right, so let's talk about music, okay? What was the first recorded music you remember owning?
Okay, I can tell you this definitely. I got a couple. Like I mean, I had some cassette tapes and things like that when I was little, but I mostly had CDs. And I remember the very first CD that I bought with my own money, like I went to the store and like used my own money to buy, was Beatles' Help.
Oh wow.
And yep, I love the Beatles. I love George Harrison. And the very first CD that I owned that was like mine and not like my mom's or my sister's or like the households was, my sister got it for me, and she's kind of a hippie chick, and it was Grateful Dead, Skeletons from the Closet.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like a best of album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those were definitely the first two CDs that were like mine.
Okay, so all right, so what's your favorite band?
The Smashing Pumpkins.
Without a doubt.
Unapologetically, without a doubt, since I was 11 years old, unwavering. I love the Smashing Pumpkins so much. If my heart had a voice, it would be that of William Patrick Corgan.
There you go. All right, so have you seen them live? What was the first concert you went to?
Okay, the very first concert I ever saw, I have seen the Pumpkins live several times. They were not my first concert. The first concert that was like something I wanted to do and go to was the Wallflowers.
I remember them for sure.
Yeah, Jacob Dylan, Bob Dylan's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, and One Headlight, that was like probably their most popular song.
Cool. All right, so what's your go-to music? I guess you already answered that.
Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins. Is there anything else that's kind of like a close second?
My second favorite band is Alkaline Trio. They're kind of like a goth punk band. They're like pretty popular and they've been around for years, but it never really broke like the top 40 radio, that barrier. But like they are super popular, especially among people that listen to kind of like, punk rock, indie rock kind of stuff. But yeah, Alkaline Trio is my second favorite band. They are so good. Dan Adriano and Matt Skiba, they're just really talented musicians, and they're very kind of different in sound from the Pumpkins. But I think one of the reasons that I like both bands is lyrically, they just have such a way with creating feels with lyrics and painting pictures with lyrics,
Yeah.
Not only the instrumental, but the lyrics also. It's just such a great combination. And one thing that I like about Alkaline Trio is a lot of their lyrics are very dark, but the instrumental sounds almost like pop punk. And so it's a really interesting juxtaposition or contrast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you talked about the art. So how proficient would you say you are playing you said stringed instruments. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, like I said, I started playing bass when I was 13, and I'm not great. I wish I was better of a musician than I am. I played in a few bands and that kind of thing. But because I think one of the things that hindered me as far as playing bass and guitar go, because I learned how to read music and I could play woodwind instruments and things like that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, before I, ever even picked up a guitar or a bass, and being taught to read off sheet music and that kind of thing hindered me in my ability to play by ear kind of. And I mean, I do have an okay ear. I can hear, I can hear if something's out of tune. I can hear no, I don't have the most refined ear, but I do have a little bit of that naturally, and I don't know. Does that make sense? I was really hard jamming. You know what I mean? Because I learned music from a very structural standpoint initially, so it was hard for me to get out of that. Now I can read tab and play off tab and that kind of thing, pretty well. And if you tell me how to play something, I can play it. I might not play it great, but I can bang it out,
Killer. So all right. So what about guilty pleasures musically?
Oh my goodness. Probably a lot. Let's see. Guilty pleasure music. 90s pop music or Ace of Base and that type of thing. I can put on the sign and listen to it on repeat. No joke. I love
that's funny.
That kind of stuff. Yeah. Also Spice Girl.
That's right.
Yeah, just that kind of stuff that's I like to think of myself as a more complex and deep person, you know what I mean? But that 90s top 40 pop stuff, it's, I don't know, it just strikes me in a certain way, and I'm just yes, we're gonna crank it up and clean the house to Ace of Base and all this junk.
Wait. Let's see. All right, we'll shift gears a little bit and talk about You leave high school. So what was next for you?
I went to Western Carolina University, and like my actual education is in anthropology.
Oh wow.
I don't do anything with it. Yeah. I do nothing with that. I like currently like my career in the field that I work in has nothing to do with it. I went to, I was in school for longer than 4 years before I was done. And I always joke and say, I could be a doctor at this point. Maybe if I could go back and tell like 8-year-old Asherella, like, get done with school, get through school faster. But like my older sister, like she did everything right. She went to college, graduated in 4 years, everything. And then she kind of struggled a little bit post college. And so my mom never really, obviously that wasn't like the formula for like success. So she kind of just let me like do what I needed to do and do my own thing. But yeah, so WCU, go Catamounts. That's what I did. But
what was your major?
Anthropology.
Oh, that's right. All right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's okay. I get so many people say
I'm multitasking over here.
No worries. But like, what is anthropology? And I'm like, well, it's the study of humans. Like there's 4 major fields. But the school that I went to, we have a really good forensic anthropology department, and like I studied cultural anthropology, not forensic anthropology, but we have a body farm and that kind of thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dude. Did you ever go on it?
Yeah, like one time, like I know where it is. I never saw like any of the like bodies out there. They keep it really secret and really private. And but I did see a couple of like the cadavers that were going out there on campus before.
Oh, so you didn't get to smell it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad.
I would imagine that would be something you can never forget.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The smell.
But I don't really do anything. Yeah.
Smell of the body farm, right? All right. So all right. What about relationships? Talk about your history with relationships.
Oh my gosh. Well, they've been varied and kind of all over the place. Kind of bad at them sometimes. I had one really big, like, really bad ending to a relationship just a couple years back that really kind of sent my life into a tailspin, not because of anything I did, but because of their response to like what they did. And that was really hard. And, it definitely left me with some leftover things I had to deal with. I don't want to get into too much detail about the situation. I mean, I can. I don't mind getting into detail about it. But that was like the one. I mean, and I had other like boyfriends and like relationships and even kind of serious ones. Just throughout my life up until this specific one. But it ended really bad because of like the other person's decisions they were making in life. And it was one of the situations where like if it was dragging me down, and despite my best efforts to like get them in a better place, it got to the point where it was enabling, and then I had to go like totally no contact, and then that led to some kind of like really scary stuff happening. And that's done and over and like put to bed, and I'm in such a better place now, and that aspect of my life is rapidly improving for sure.
So were you married ever?
No, I've never been married. Mm-mm.
Okay. So yeah, in the future, is marriage like something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. What about kids?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There was I don't know. As I've gotten, like, I used to say, like, I don't think I want kids. And then I kind of got into this headspace where it was like, okay, well, if it were to happen, then great. You know what I mean? Like, that would be fine. And I don't know. Like, I'm like slowly evolving to the other side,
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. So let's shift gears. We'll get out your grill, as it were, and kind of ask you something about. We're going to focus on aesthetics and media here. So all right. So what is your favorite horror movie?
The Lost Boys.
Of course.
Yes.
And all right. So who's your favorite all around director horror films?
Oh, well, that's a Joel Schumacher film, and can I say? I mean, I guess like, can I say Tim Burton? Because they're not really like horror films, but I love Tim Burton and the whole like his whole like aesthetic and like what he does and where he goes. So other than that, I don't really have one, I guess.
All right. What about, all right. So, let's see. What about do you read horror books or anything?
I read more like, I mean, I have, and I've read like a lot of Stephen King. Oh, and I really like, I think like the Jurassic Park like series is so like, it's like so scary in like a non-traditional scary way, you know? And so I love those. I like to eat. I like to read. Psycho said anyone else buffering, and I thought he said anyone else eating for some reason, and that's why he said eat. But anyway, I like you kind of like fantasy stuff. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What about science fiction? Are you in what's your favorite sci-fi movie?
My favorite sci-fi movie is Jurassic Park franchise, or like the whole series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love Jurassic Park. You know, like I've said before, the things that I like, I love, and that is one of them, definitely. You know, the books and then the like original like series, and then now the new ones are pretty good too. Like I love them all. Like I love dinosaurs though, and so I know most people think like sci-fi, they think more spacey side of it, or like futuristic.
That's definitely science fiction. Yeah, Crichton is a master of sci-fi.
Yeah,
writer.
yeah. I love Jurassic Park.
Definitely. And I actually like the stuff with the Chris Pratt stuff, the like you were talking about. Yeah, it's entertaining. You know, it's like a lot of people get real snobby about shit, and it's like, come on, man. It's just, you know, did you have fun watching it or not? You know,
see I totally get that. Bubonic says Raptors rule, and I have to say, yes, Raptors do rule indeed. I love Velociraptors.
Indeed.
But like, okay, so one of my things is like I try to be very like authentic and like true to myself, despite if it's not like, you know, cool or popular or like what would be normal for like my personality or something like that, you know. And so like if I like something, I don't like, you know, if I like something, I like it, and like I don't suppress it even if it's not, doesn't seem typical. So like, yeah, okay, Jurassic Park is huge, like blockbuster, like, you know, Hollywood franchise, and there's been like billions of dollars made off of it. And so some people would be very like pretentious and snotty because of like toward it because of that, because they just think that they're like so much deeper and so much better. But it's like, listen, there's a reason it made all that money. It's because it's badass, you know, like it's so cool. And like, yeah, I just think I hate when people dislike something just for the sake of disliking it because it's popular, it's mainstream popular. Like I like originality and I like uniqueness, and I do like fringe stuff so much, and that's like more of my thing typically. But I'm not going to dislike something just because other people like it, you know. That's just totally phony.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did have that attitude about one movie and one movie only, and I'll still.
What is that?
And I'll never watch it. E.T. The Sand.
Oh yeah, man. I watched E.T. when I was really little, and then it scared the shit out of me. Like I have a thing with like aliens. Like I do not. Okay, like. Alien movies are like the movies that really scare me. I watched the movie Fire in the Sky when I was really young, like way too young to watch it. And it is just like that kind of thing has like terrified me from then on, you know?
Right. Man. Okay, so let's. What about dramatic type movies? What's your favorite? Just movie, right?
Let's see, drama. Gosh, I don't know. I just like. There's so many.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you remember the last horror movie you saw?
No, The Lost Boys. I recently rewatched all of the Scream movies.
Oh yeah,
because they're just so good, and I just think they're still really good. Like, I watched them when I was younger, and yeah, just like they're still good.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Scream franchise too. It's so good. And I'm trying to think of like dramatic movie that would be my favorite, and like, gosh, I'm like, I don't know. Oh, Edward Scissorhands, can that count? That's probably my second favorite movie.
I would classify that probably as I don't know, maybe fantasy. Yeah, that's more of a fantasy.
It's kind of like deep,
but
like, I don't know.
Yeah, but that was commercially successful, so we can classify it. It's a good story too.
Yeah,
it's got Vincent Price in it, so
It's indeed, yes, it's so good. Like, and it's so romantic too. Like, oh my god.
Anyway. I'm the kind of guy, I'll watch all that old Vincent Price Corman shit from the 60s, the psychedelic stuff. And, it's like, the photography is in that old Technicolor shit. But I still love watching it. Mario Bava had a great kind of a style that I liked too.
I was just reminded, okay, my favorite, like, drama is The Virgin Suicides. Yes. That is probably my favorite drama.
What is that about? Tell me about that.
It's Sofia Coppola. It was her first movie, and it is 5 sisters, and I don't want to give the movie away to anybody who hasn't seen it, but they have these really kind of strict Catholic parents, and one of the sisters ends up killing herself, and then by the end of the movie, they all do. But it's almost kind of like surreal, and like the soundtrack is so good. Are you familiar with the band Air?
No.
Okay, well, they do a big part of the soundtrack. It's okay. They do like part of the soundtrack, and it's really good. And I here over the past like few weeks I do like Kino and commentary with Chigon and Object and Bubonic, and that was my first movie that I brought to like the viewing. And yeah, it's such a good movie, and that is definitely that's my favorite drama. It's a good movie. I don't want to give too much away, but it kind of like follows the story of these girls and their life, and then how they end up not with life at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good movie, actually.
It is.
What about TV?
And I really,
go ahead.
I was gonna say I really like the movie Seven also.
Yeah, that's a good movie too.
Yeah, it really is. And I guess that's kind of drama, kind of horror movie also, like a little bit, Yeah. But that's a really good movie. That's up there in my top favorites. Okay, TV. Let's see. I love old TV shows. Like I love just like any kind of like classic TV, I can find myself watching it. But one of my favorite shows ever is Bonanza. Most people do not expect me to say that, but I love Bonanza. I love the Cartwrights. I can watch Bonanza over and over and over again.
That's a really unique answer, man.
I love Bonanza, man. I want to live on the Ponderosa. Like, let's go. But yeah, I love Bonanza, and all the Cartwrights they're just like, I don't know, they're almost like if they were a real family, they'd be like American royalty, and Ben Cartwright is a king. Like, he is just like the greatest guy. And I know it's a show, and I know they're fictional characters, but I just love it so much. Yeah. But then, okay, let's see, newer stuff that I like. I love Cobra Kai. Like, I love Cobra Kai. Good stuff, and the things I like, I love, like, I love them. And so Cobra Kai has definitely been one of my like newer favorite like TV type shows. But it's crazy because like the TV in my living room, it's probably been 2-3 weeks before I've actually turned it on. You know, everything I watch is like on my computer or on my iPad streaming services. I can't even tell you really what's on network TV anymore, hardly. So yeah, Cobra Kai, and I love Bonanza so much. And people, if you've not watched Bonanza, go watch Bonanza. Like everybody thinks it's like this old like cowboy show, and like yeah, it is, but it's so good. You will not regret it.
Mm. Yeah, I'm a big Dan Blocker fan. I like Hoss.
Oh yeah, Haas is great. Like, oh man, I could talk about all of them for like ever. But Haas is just like such a well-written character. And you know, there's this one episode, and I was talking about this with somebody recently, and I can't remember the actual setup, but it's Ben, and he's talking to some guy, and he's talking about his sons, and it kind of goes into like this like offshoot of like each son, like Adam and Little Joe and Haas. And when he's talking about Haas, he's like, oh yeah, he's big. And then the other guy's like, oh, kind of like a like big slow type. And Ben is like, if you mean like slow to anger and slow to like this and that, he's like, yeah, he's big and slow. But it really like showcased like how awesome Haas is, because he is this big galoot of a guy, but then he's like so kind-hearted and like smart, you know. And I like Haas too, but actually Adam is my favorite of the sons, and I always say that like if there were goth kids of the Wild West, that would be Adam.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good answer, man. All right, so we're shifting gears. What about anime? You an anime fan?
I love Dragon Ball. Oh my god, I love Dragon Ball. Yes.
Okay.
Next question. No. Like, I love
Dragon Ball. So who's your favorite character?
Vegeta. Absolutely. Vegeta is the best. Vegeta has the best character growth throughout the series. You know, one thing that I like about Dragon Ball, because like I've always like kind of attracted and drawn to like the misunderstood villain or like the anti-hero or, you know, that type of character. Like I love Professor Snape in Harry Potter because he's like villain-ish, but like he's got his motives, you know, like he has his reasons.
Right.
And Vegeta is just, he's got the best character growth. One thing I like about Dragon Ball is that like all of like the main crew, like the Z fighters, they all start out as villain. You know, like even from original Dragon Ball, even like Oolong and like Chaozu and Tien, like they were all maybe not like villains, but they were at least adversaries initially, and then they come around and, you know, and then they're just like part of the people. And, you know, Vegeta is, you know, he starts out as this big bad, and now he is like, he saved the earth how many times, and he's like in love with Bulma, and they have a family, and like he's really worked to become the person that he is. And I say this and people get mad because people love Goku, but like Goku is a good guy because he has brain damage. Like he was dropped on his head as a kid, and I mean this is canon, like you can go back and like read or watch Dragon Ball. Like Goku was like a terror as a little baby, and then he gets dropped on his head, and then his disposition changes. And so now the reason Goku is a good guy now is just because he got hit on the head. Vegeta has had to actively work to get to that place, you know? And like right. He has made like the effort to become this person. And, you know, Goku is great. And yes, he is like, if it wasn't for Goku, there wouldn't be the Dragon Ball franchise. But man, like Vegeta, his story is just so much better. So much better. And Goku's kind of an idiot. He's so naive, and he's just kind of dumb, and he's a bad father, and like, yeah, he's super strong and saved the world a bunch and says some funny shit sometimes, but like Vegeta, that's where the depth is and the complexity is.
Sweet. That's a good answer. All right, so now we are shifting gears once again. And what about what about scars, tattoos, or piercings?
Well, I have a bunch of scars. I dive into things that I do with reckless abandon sometimes, and so that leads to injury. Right. But okay, I have a lot of scars on my hands and things like that. One that I have on my hand is a story that I like to tell because all through college, like I worked as a bartender at a bar called O'Malley's near like the university that I went to. And during the day, we made ranch in-house, like ranch dressing. And it's basically just like gallons of mayonnaise, buttermilk, and like Hidden Valley ranch seasoning.
Yeah.
And so what we would do, we would make like gallons of it at a time, right? And you would have to take these big like plastic tubs of mayonnaise and scoop it out into a bowl to like mix it up. But it was so hard to get it all out. So what we would do was take a knife and cut the bottom of the plastic mayonnaise jug off and just dump it in all at once so you didn't have to scoop it out. And we had these big, long, serrated knives. They were like 2 foot long and they had a huge blade on it. And I picked up a knife off the knife strip, one of these serrated knives, and I was like, oh, I love these knives. They're my favorite because because it's like a sword. Because the knife was so long. And then I go to cut the bottom of this mayonnaise container off and it slips on the plastic and I just drag it across my index finger and my thumb on my opposite hand. Like it slips and I just like slice. Like before I could even react, I just like, And I ended up with several stitches in my finger and my thumb from that. And I still have scars from it. But it's so funny because I was like, oh, I love this knife because it's like a sword. And then like 3 seconds later, like screaming and like bleeding everywhere. And then I'm like going to the ER and getting stitches. So yeah, that is what probably my favorite scar. And I have one tattoo. It's a stamp. It's the lower back tattoo. It's not huge or anything. It's a Sacred Heart. I really like. I grew up in like a Methodist church. I'm not particularly like religious in that way. But I've always really liked like Catholic imagery and like Catholicism. I find like really fascinating because it is one of the like, a denomination where like, you sin, you go in, you say what you did wrong, and for a fact in that moment that you're forgiven. You know what I mean? All the other denominations, you just gotta like be like, all right, well, I guess I'm, you don't have any like definitive like confirmation that you're forgiven of your sins in that moment. So I really like the idea of like there's a lot of aspects of Catholicism that I find fascinating. Not that I necessarily want to like practice, but I love rosaries. I've got one like hanging behind my computer right here. And I just really like that whole aesthetic, like the prayer candles. And so my Sacred Heart is kind of like, there's two kind of facets to it. It's like my love of Catholic imagery because you see the Sacred Heart on so much of that. And then also the Smashing Pumpkins album Gish. If you look at the back of it, it is a Sacred Heart. And it's kind of an more anatomical Sacred Heart. And mine is kind of just more traditional heart shaped. But yeah, so that is my tattoo. And my ears are pierced twice. I don't have any kind of crazy piercings. I've had my belly button pierced, but it's no longer. And yeah, I'm kind of boring, I guess, in that way. But like, I mean, I appreciate tattoos. And I think some people look great with lots of tattoos and piercings. But I don't know, like, that's just not, I don't know. I like me without them. Like, I don't feel like I need them.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was, I noticed on your channel, and I watched one of your video where you talked about, you had some surgery. Do you want to talk about that or?
Surgery. Oh. What video was it?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna mute myself so they can't hear me.
Okay. No, I didn't. No, that was not me. That was somebody.
Okay. Whoa. All right. Then yeah. All right.
Yeah. No,
right. That was based on totally errant information, people. So I'm glad y'all didn't hear that. Yeah. Y'all didn't need to hear that.
I've not had any type of like augmentation. I've thought about it, but no, that was actually a Reddit post. Like, because sometimes in videos, like if there is a Reddit post or like a relationship advice post that catches my attention, or I have a specific opinion on it, I will read the post and then I'll like give my advice to the person, and I'll do videos like that. And that's what that was about. This girl, she had breast reduction surgery, and her boyfriend broke up with her, and she thought it was because of her scars, but it turns out like it really wasn't. You could tell just from what this girl wrote. There was so much more going on in that relationship than her just having her tits shrunk, you know?
Right.
But yeah, no. I've never had any kind of like plastic surgery or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should have like watched the whole thing. IRATE, you dumbass. All right. And so yeah, and I forgot to tell the chat, which is exceptional today. I want to salute and nod to every one of you. Thanks for coming. I did, but all right. So if you've got questions for Miss Asherella, jot them down, and in a few minutes we'll get to your questions. Okay. I just wanted to make sure everyone was getting ready. I've got a couple more questions I'm going to ask, because I like to do that. And please don't forget to share this out, right? And like and subscribe, all that stuff. I'm real uncomfortable saying that kind of shit, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll say it. I was going to say, everybody go share, like, and subscribe to IRATE Prostate. Gently caress his notification bell.
Gently caress that notification bell.
That's what I always say in my videos. Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
You don't shoot them. Yeah, you gently caress the notification bell.
Ding. Nice. All right. So, in 40 years, what do you think people will be nostalgic for?
What are people going to be nostalgic for in 40 years? Real money, paper money.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the most useless talent you have?
Oh, so many. Useless? I don't know. Like, I mean, I have a lot of small talents. Like, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've got like several things that like I do relatively well, but I don't know if I would consider them useful. Like, I can like hold my liquor pretty good. Like, is that a talent?
You got a hollow leg. Yeah, man.
Like, I can kill like 3 Irish car bombs back to back. Like, that's pretty useless talent. Yeah.
Dude.
That's what happens when you're a bartender all through college. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Nice. All right,
Dumbbeard says to harass that bell.
All right. Sexually harass that bell. Don't touch it appropriately. If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would you ask?
Oh, absolute and total truth to one question. Wow. Okay. Well, coming from like, you know, and viewpoint as an anthropologist by education, you know, like I am a scientist. You know, there are certain things that like humans are like hardwired, despite like where they're from, what their experiences are, what they're exposed to, that like we want to know. And that's like who's responsible for us and what happens after death. And I think the what happens after death, what's next?
Right.
What's next?
All right. So let's see. If you could go back in time and spend a week with any person from history, who would it be and why?
Oh my gosh. Wow, this is a hard question. Any person in history. George Harrison?
Sweet.
Yeah, like I feel like George is he's like so underrated as far as like the Beatles go. And I mean that's not too far back in history, but I don't know, I just always like have loved George. I was like, still really young whenever he died, but I remember like whenever he died, my mom like coming into my bedroom that morning and like sitting down on the bed and like Sissy, because like she calls me Sissy, like I'm little sister, my sister's big sister, and she's like, Sissy, I got to tell you something, and I was like, oh no, it was like as if like a family member had passed, and she told me like George Harrison had died, and yeah, and I don't know, there's more people that I would love to like have a minute with, in history. But yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, George Harrison was highly underrated, and the Traveling Wilbury stuff is very.
Yeah, I love Tom Petty, man.
Yeah. But they made a great little ensemble, man. That's a good group of people.
You know who else George Harrison related is Patty Boyd, and I don't know if she's still living or not, but that is George Harrison. Like, she was married to George Harrison and Eric Clapton both. Like,
oh, she's Layla.
Yeah, she is, and she I have her book. I've read her book, and she talks about like going back. Like they would call each other husband-in-laws because they were like best friends, and she would like like toggle back and forth between them, which I just like. I can't imagine doing that, like how do you, I don't know, like feel like the devotion of love towards someone, and then I don't know, but I just find her fascinating, and like girl, what do you do to get those two people so madly in love with you they share you, you know what I mean?
Yes, dude. Yeah,
like that's just that whole like idea just is just like, I mean, it's nothing that I want to do or be, but it's just, I don't think many people can say that, there's got to be something about her. But anyway.
No, that's a great point though. You're absolutely right, man. To be able to like have to be able to yank the hearts of some of the most iconic musicians, from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right. So what job would you really be terrible at?
A librarian. No, I'm just loud and I talk a lot.
Right. I like that.
That would be hard for me. Yeah.
All right. And what is your spirit animal?
Definitely Purunga, the Namekian wish dragon.
Okay.
It's not a real animal. If I had to pick up like an actual animal, I don't know, maybe like a cobra or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't specify as to whether it's fictional or And
yeah, Purunga. I always say my Patronus and my spirit animal. I don't know how familiar you are with Harry Potter, but they have like their Patronus, which is basically like a protector animal that like a spell they can cast. And I say that my Patronus is Purunga from Dragon Ball.
All right, Donna's Paul wants to know what your favorite line from Lost Boys is.
So is mine. Whenever like Michael and David are like fighting, and he's like, my blood is in your veins now, Michael. And Michael's like, so is mine. And also, there's so many. Death by stereo. And then all the goddamn vampires. Like, and then whenever like Sam first meets the Frog Brothers, and he's like, oh, I thought it was a bakery, because he's got like the stoned, passed out like hippie parents. And also like the Attack of Eddie Munster. Yeah, the whole movie. Do you want me to just recite the whole movie? How do I pick one, right?
Right. All right, so Bubonic wants to know, are you comfy, and how do you get comfy?
Yeah, I'm pretty comfy.
So how do you get comfy?
And no comment.
All right. How do you source pumps for your size of feet?
Oh.
That's from Object of 8.
Yeah, okay. Well, I order a lot of shoes. Okay, I have tiny feet. This is probably something you are unaware, but like my feet are very small. I wear like a 4 in women's, like a 2 or 2.5 in kids. And if I want any type of like, like sexy high heel or like dress shoe, that type of thing, I have to like I can't just go to the mall and get them. Like I can't run down to Shoe Show and grab a pair. But I order them a lot from like Wish and like those like Asian sellers, because like Asian women in general have smaller feet than Americans. And so I can find like, really strappy, sexy high heels that fit my feet,
Right.
and I can't find that here. So I ordered them online a lot. Like Wish and Shein. That's another like clothes selling website that's out of some Asian country.
So you never bound your feet?
No, I've never bound my feet.
What's your favorite painting? Object of Hate wants to know. He's just wanting to know.
Okay. I know this sounds like super cliche and very typical, but I love the Mona Lisa. I don't know. There's just something about it. I have one hanging in my house that it's not like, obviously, like I'm not even gonna say that. I was like, obviously it's not the original, right? But it's like my friend had made me a Mona Lisa and framed it, but it's one of those sticker by number book things. And she made it for me and framed it. And when I moved into my new apartment, she sent it to me and I have it hanging up in my house. And I don't know, I just love the Mona. I call it the Mona. I love the Mona Lisa. But I also like a lot of Van Gogh stuff. Like Starry Night and that kind of thing is just they just like I could just like wrap myself up in the feeling that painting inspires. It's just like dreamy and like kind of whimsical but kind of realistic at the same time. I don't know how to describe it.
The paint application is it's real thick.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, I touched it actually. I touched
Really?
Starry Night. Yeah.
Really?
And Baccioni's unique forms of continuity in space. Yeah. It was against the rules. Nobody was watching. I said, fuck it, I'm touching this damn thing.
I can't believe a bunch of alarms didn't go off and you weren't like swatted right in that moment.
Dude,
yeah.
It was just sitting right there. And
that's amazing though.
That's a beautiful painting.
Yeah,
and it's small. It's a lot smaller than you would think.
Really?
Yeah, all those every little mark is like from a knife, and it's about, I'd say about an eighth to 3/8 of an inch thick.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was really thick and went on and it really looks incredible. I love good texture stuff.
I would love to be able to see it in person. I can only imagine what it's like in person.
Yeah, it was at the Museum of Modern Art, and I'm not going to say because I'm old. But it was in the middle. It was in the late '80s. All right. All right. Did we ask the cheerleader question?
I don't believe so.
Let me back it up here. I lost it. I'm so sorry. Where did it go? Yeah, all right. Object Hate asks, is being a cheerleader in the 90s as cliched as it seems on TV and film?
A little bit, yeah.
Dude, not like he's busting your balls or what?
Well, I always say that like stereotypes are in place for a reason, like they don't just come out of nowhere. And like while like TV and movie like cheerleaders are like, definitely like extreme and exaggerated, but I mean it is kind of like that. I mean there's definitely some like benefits that come with being a high school varsity cheerleader, like socially and that kind of thing. So yeah, it is a little bit.
Yeah. All right, what was your favorite death by sin in the movie 7?
Oh my gosh, I don't like any of them. Like, I mean, they're all just like, one of the reasons that I like the movie 7 is because it creates this really disturbed feeling that you just want to like crawl under the table. And all of them are bad. And okay, so really my favorite death is like the end, like, or when he like, and we only see like the result of it you know, when Brad Pitt's character's name is like freaking out. My
Yeah.
favorite
What's in
death
the box?
when Brad Pitt shoots
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey. That's my favorite death in Seven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wrath. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
Yeah.
So Shagon wants to know, what would your last meal request be?
My last what?
Meal request? Food, you know?
Oh, meal request. Last meal request. Okay. Pizza probably.
Nice.
Yeah, like
Anything in
some
specific?
kind of pizza. Well, like I said, I'm a vegetarian, but I do love meat. So honestly, like deep dish with like Italian sausage and pepperoni and green peppers and mushrooms. Yeah, doing that.
How did you?
I'm about to die. Who cares?
How did you manage for shoes before the internet? In other words, how did you shop for shoes?
I wore like Dora the Explorer Mary Janes from Payless. Like, no joke. Like, I mean, I had this one pair of black patent leather Mary Janes into college that were like, and I mean, there was internet and stuff then, but they were literally like, they came in a Barbie box, and on the bottom it had the Barbie logo and like a Mattel logo. Like, they were little girls, black patent leather Mary Janes, and the buckle was shaped like a daisy, but it wasn't like so in your face that they looked unprofessional or whatever. So yeah, I just had to wear little kids shoes. Little kids dress shoes, like Easter Sunday shoes.
Right. All right. Madness always asks this question every week, and it's a good one.
Uh-huh.
What do you think of Barbara, or Barbara for you to see, aka Barbara for you to relax, aka Barbara 2.0, or Barbara Horvat?
I don't know who that is.
Okay, fair enough. She's a YouTuber.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. Do you have a war plan in case of Aleo meows?
What?
I don't know. Dumbbeard? I don't understand this. All right, who's your favorite character in Dragon Ball besides Vegeta?
What? Bulma is my favorite other character. I really like Future Trunks. My favorite villain is Perfect Cell, or I like the whole Cell games, and I love actually my favorite villain is probably Kid Buu, but I love the Cell saga, like the Cell games.
Let's see, I always lost on nothing else. Wants to know why Van Gogh cut his ear off.
Wasn't it because he had a really bad inner ear infection, and he mail it to like his lover? Girlfriend. You know what's funny? Yeah. Well, his girlfriend, whatever. I mean, I'm assuming they were doing it. But yeah, I think he had a really bad ear infection. Okay, I want to tell a slight little story related to that. In Dragon Ball Super Broly, like that's the most recent like Dragon Ball movie that came out. There is Broly's like pet, this monster thing called Ba, that's his name. And Ba gets his ear cut off by Broly's dad. And so I like to paint a little bit, and I'm not good at it, but I'll do like kind of fan art sort of stuff. And I painted a photo, like a picture that is Ba with his ear cut off, like Van Gogh, in the style of Starry Night. I'll find a picture of it and post it up, because it was like he was missing an ear, and so that was like very Van Gogh. And then so I did it in the style of Starry Night, so I call it Starry Ball.
Nice.
Yeah, related.
Okay. Let's see. Boom, boom. Where are we going here? All right. We got to ask you that. The Dragon Ball series really had a long run. Should it continue, or is it time to just wrap it up?
Never, ever, ever. No, I know what you're saying though, because sometimes it's like you want to end something on a high note. After Dragon Ball Z, there was Dragon Ball GT, and GT for the most part was not good. Like the Super Saiyan like 4 Ascension, I call it like the 80s hair metal Ascension because Goku and Vegeta, they look like 80s hair metal rockers in it. That is like a really great part of GT. There's a few other good parts of GT. And now we have Super, which I think overall and in general is better. It's better than GT, and I like it. And it's being, it's being pretty authentic to Dragon Ball in its core. If we could keep at super level and continue, then absolutely continue to go. But if it's gonna like be GT and lower quality, then maybe we should retire it. But I can't get enough Dragon Ball, so it's hard for me to say that because I want it to continue, but we're almost kind of getting to the point in Dragon Ball where like how much more powerful physically can Goku or Vegeta get? Like they are like, I mean, it's not that it's ever like super realistic, but like they are so much over 9,000 at this point, like they are so strong. They have ascended so many times to these higher and higher power levels that we're getting into these power levels that are more like not physical transformations, like more like mental power and like metaphysical type ascensions and that kind of thing.
Sweet. All right, so let's see. What is your favorite fan manga based on Dragon Ball?
I don't have one.
Okay.
I don't really read a lot of fan stuff, like fanfic and stuff like that.
All right, and Bubonic wants to know what's your favorite place in the world?
My favorite place in the whole world. Wherever like my loved ones are. Like a geographical location. I can't say that I really have one. I like to be by water. I like the beach. But really a lot to do with how I feel and, just my overall like mood and vibe is like my favorite places where those I love are.
Indeed.
That's not really the question though, is it?
No, I like your answer. I like that answer. All right. So if let's see, what will you do if the vaccine brigade come knocking on your door?
I mean, I'm armed, so I'm not worried.
Wait. All right. Dumbbeard says, do you have a war plan for extraterrestrials?
I mean, okay, let's just hope that they go down like they do in Signs. Like, okay, the movie Signs I thought was the most terrifying thing I had ever seen in my whole life until the very end of the movie. And then it's just silly because you kill the aliens in the movie Signs the same way you kill the Wicked Witch of the West. And so as long as I've got like a water hose or a bottle of water or something around me, I'm good. So I'm just going to a lot of water.
Why would they come to a planet that was like 70%
water? Yeah,
right? No shit. I'm
like
dude.
M. Night Shyamalan, you're failing there, dude.
Yeah, dude, you should have thought that shit out. I mean, really, man. Yeah, I'm totally on board with that shit.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
Right? How many wardrobe?
I've heard, like, Chigon has told me that Dumbbeard has some, like, alien stuff, too. So, like, it's something that I think about. You know what I mean? But, yeah, go ahead.
All right, how many wardrobes full of stylish clothing do you own?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so I have 3 full walk-in closets. Well, no, 2 walk-in closets. 1 just regular kind of coat closet. And then like 3 chest of drawer type things, and they're all overflowing. I have so much clothes. Like my wardrobe is like my art above anything else. Like I love clothes. I love creating like my daily vibe with my clothing, like the aesthetic, like so much. And like it's not in a shallow way, I'm not like materialistic about clothing. Like it's not like I have to have all these like name brand designer clothes. It's like the way I look that day so much impacts the way I feel. And I like to express how I feel on the inside with my clothes and vice versa, and so creating my wardrobe and creating my outfit for that day is it to me, I look at it as like an art. Like, that is my artistic medium in a lot of ways.
Okay. All right. So I forgot to do the Lipton question. So this is the point where I'm going to ask you what is known as the Lipton questions. An interviewer named James Lipton used to do this show called Inside the Actor Studio, which is very popular. Yeah. And he would ask, the one consistent element through all his interviews was this set of questions. And it's kind of like a Rorschach-y kind of a rapid fire, just say the first thing that comes into your head kind of thing. Like, what's your favorite word?
Significant.
What's your least favorite word?
No.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Authenticity, originality.
Cool. What turns you off?
Phonies, like posers, like disingenuousness, or like people being genuine.
Never see that on YouTube.
No, not at all.
What's your favorite curse word?
Oh my gosh, all of them. Okay, this is such a hard. Okay. Okay, I like fuck, right? Because fuck is just so like general. Like you can use it in so many different like contexts. Like you can. It can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. It can be like a verb. It can be an adjective.
You can use a noun, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can use fuck in just about any way. I like cunt. I like to say cunt because I like people are so offended by it, and it's like shut the fuck up, cunt.
Right. And it's so funny because it's so common with the Brits and the British and the satellite, British countries like Canada and Australia. It's like they all say cunt, and it's like here it's like
said
the C word, man. Oh my God. All right, let's see. What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, like thunderstorms, thunder and lightning. Like a good rainstorm, a good thunderstorm.
What sound or noise do you hate?
My alarm clock.
I
hate it.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, I think I'd be a good attorney, a good lawyer.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do?
Not that I really would not like to do it, but I don't think I could do much in like the medical field, like on a couple levels. Like I'm very soft-hearted, so like getting close to like patients and stuff that were like terminal, that would be really hard for me. But that's not even be the hardest aspect. It's just like doctors and nurses and like CNAs and things like that, they deal with some of the grossest shit you have ever, like just stuff you can't even imagine. And I just could not do that. No.
All right. And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Here are your wings. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
All right, we're gonna wrap up the chat questions, but I'll throw these last couple at you.
Okay.
Would you accept training from Roshi?
Absolutely.
What would you do if Chi-Chi is pissed?
What would I do if Chi-Chi what?
If Chi-Chi is pissed.
I would just slap that bitch. I hate Chi-Chi. She's like my least favorite Dragon Ball character.
1,000 a month for life, or 1 month of vacation, all expenses paid, no limit?
1,000 a month for life.
I hear you. That's like a no-brainer to me, but
yeah, definitely. Financial security is like the ultimate like goal, right?
Right.
Yeah, that extra 1,000 a month would be great. I could like take plenty of vacations, that would just like pad my life just enough to be able to like, do whatever. I don't know. Maybe not anything, but that'd be nice.
All right. So, would you rather have a pack of trained bank robbing squirrels or dogs?
That's a tough question. Probably the dogs because the squirrels would probably eat all of my like nuts and cashews and stuff.
All right, and Trippy. All right, two last ones. Okay, and
Okay.
all right. So, what's Ash's or your favorite Super Saiyan transformation that you'd like to see on a girl character?
Oh, 80s hair metal Saiyan, Super Saiyan 4.
Killer. All
Yeah.
right, and what's your favorite fusion in game Dragon Ball Fusion, if you play it?
Gotenks, I guess, or just my favorite fusion in general is Gotenks. Vajinks, that's Vegeta Trunks.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, all right. So coming back. All right. So we're back to the YouTube spot, and subject matter wise,
Excuse me.
so we're kind of wrapping things up. I'll go ahead and pop us back in the foyer, like I like to call it. 'Cause
Okay.
it's,
Really quickly, would I train with Master Roshi? Absolutely. Would I expect to be sexually harassed? Sure. Like, I mean, that kind of goes without saying.
no
Okay,
doubt.
go ahead.
All right, who would you say is a criminally undersubscribed YouTuber in this corner of YouTube's?
Oh my gosh, like everybody that I know, all of my friends, all my YouTube friends, like you, I mean, I think I feel I have so many like YouTube friends and channel friends that I just feel like they are just such great channels. Like they have fun and funny and interesting things that they do and say. Like some of it's insightful, and like I have all kinds of different type of channel friends. Some are kind of political and social, and some are just like creative, and some are focused on specific things. But like everybody that I am friends with, like I feel like they're so underrated. Like like Trippy and like so many people. Like just everybody that I know, I feel like they deserve so much more attention than they get.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Let's say, boom, boom. All right. So, who is a YouTuber that you think is just way overhyped and you really don't get it?
Both of the Paul brothers, like I just don't see what the appeal is there at all. Like I hate channels like Trisha Paytas and those kind of like people in channels. Holy shit, she is just so disgusting. Like she's so cringe. She's so trashy.
Yeah.
Like I hate that. And then like the mukbang type videos and channels that are like so popular, it's like, ew, I do not want to watch you gorge yourself. That's fucking disgusting.
No doubt. Yeah. Let's say, all right. So, what will finally break the internet?
What will finally break the internet? Like it'll be like a terrorist attack, or like I don't know, like I don't know, like I don't think the internet will ever be really broken until like the end of days.
Okay. So this is where I ask you, what about upcoming work that something you're working on, or something you want to promote on your channel?
Yeah, well, like I said, I try to upload at least once a week. A lot of times I get like 2 videos up. I've just recently, been invited to be a regular part of Kino and Commentary with Bubonic and Object and Qigong. And like I said earlier, that's where we watch a movie and just, share our feels throughout the movie. Unfortunately, YouTube like stomps those videos down a lot and they get blocked, but there are ways to watch them. So yeah, if you don't watch that, like watch it. And if you want a link to watch it, not on YouTube, hit me up. And I'm also actually, I think in a couple of weeks, I'm going to start a live stream. I'm going to do a Monday night stream.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, and
I'm really excited about that. Like, I'm so excited to start it. And I've wanted to do a stream for a while, and I'm finally like getting motivated to do that.
good. It's really fun, I think, and there's a certain amount of energy that's, I think, transferred. That I don't know, that gets dropped in production. I don't know. That's just me. You know, I like to roll live. That's kind of my thing.
I love watching live streams. Yeah, and I just I feel like it's something I want to do. I love, like, that's my weeknight entertainment usually. Like, almost every night, somebody that I'm like, you know, channel friends with or friends with has a stream, and I don't know. I enjoy like participating in that way, and so now I'm excited to like do my own thing and give other people the opportunity to participate in that way and do something a little different than, you know, others are doing in their streams.
Killer. All right, and before we part, okay, this is where you share your channel. All her links are in the description. I've got your YouTube, Odyssey, Instagram, and Twitter links, Asherella.
Yes. And if you're not on Odyssey, go check out Odyssey. There is so much content on Odyssey. You know, I like Odyssey. It's kind of like my YouTube backup, because God knows what's going to happen with YouTube. Like, I feel like YouTube is just going in this weird direction, and so I like having that as, like, you know, my backup. But there's a lot of content on there. So if you haven't, you know, if you don't use Odyssey, don't have an account with Odyssey, like, set one up, because you'll find some stuff that you like on there. And there's a lot of other YouTubers that are doing the same lately.
Killer.
And it's a lot less censored on Odyssey. And that's one thing that I really like about it.
I'm
like, you don't have to worry. Yeah, you don't have to worry as much about like what you're uploading. You don't have to worry about so much copyright stuff. Anything that I have that gets like copyright claimed or anything like that, it's all fair use. But it's just such a hassle and a process to like, you know, do the like dispute on it. And so man,
I thought don't get me going. This is about right. So I'm out of questions, and what that means is that we're going to wrap the show.
Okay.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, this was great. I loved it. The only thing I hate is that, like, I am just after getting to ask you questions. Like, you should definitely do another at like 300 or something and have, you know, the last 150 guests come ask you some more stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah. There, after Uzi and I move in September, I'll be starting a new show, kind of based, you know, kind of like this show, but little tweak to it. So.
Cool.
Yeah, and I gotta keep that close to my chest. Those cards.
Well, everybody's eager to see, I'm sure.
Indeed. And on that note, let's say goodbye, Miss Asherella. You gotta subscribe to her channel, please.
Yes, subscribe.
And bring it on, man.
And don't forget to gently caress the notification bell. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
Gently caress that thing, right?
Yeah.
And you know, if you tweak the top thing a little bit, you know, little nipple looking thing, go for it. Just saying. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye. I've been a bad boy. I've been a good boy. Y'all have a great week. All right. No extra credit tomorrow. Becca's driving, and it's terrifying. That's all I'm going to say. And on that note, I'm saying take care. See y'all Friday. I might be doing some gaming, so keep your eye open for the channel. I probably would do a couple of games this week, just because tomorrow I'm going swimming all goddamn day. So that's it. All right, so I'm out. What about you, Miss Asherella?
Yeah, thanks so much. This is so much fun, and thanks to everybody. And I'll hopefully, if you're not subscribed, you'll subscribe.